It feels really overwhelming often when you start a writing project, and it's just, and that can really hinder you. The research on when do people experience writer's block. We talk about that idea of writer's block a lot. When do people experience it? It's almost always at the beginning, right? Once you've started and once you're revising, people are fine. But there's something, but that starting just feels so overwhelming, just staring at like the blank page. So, yeah, I mean, I think what MJ said about having this some sort of consistent, like, here's how I pre-write, here's the first steps I do to start to get something on paper.
Well, let's talk about that. Getting started, because we don't want to get into the entire process. I think MJ, you talked about the importance of finding a strategy that works for you.
But my personal favorite pre-writing strategies, I'm a big what we call mind mapping, where you come up with a topic that you're trying to discuss or want to discuss, and then you try to figure out what all the related fields are as it relates to that central topic, and then essentially it becomes almost a physical representation of what I know about a topic, and it allows me to identify knowledge gaps. It allows me to think critically about what it is I want to talk about, what my reader needs to know versus what I can be kind of left out. But again, that's a process that works for me. It may not work for everybody.
How about you, Jared?
Yeah, I think I mean, I like what MJ was saying about, another thing about, academic writing, where he was kind of talking about that one size fits all. A lot of academic situations will say, sit down and write an outline. An outline should be the first thing, but you have to, if you're a logical sequential person like that, great, but that also requires you to have this view of the whole when you might still be in like the research stage. So I like what MJ said, where you just start throwing ideas down. He likes to do it visually. I've always been a big fan of it has different names, but basically just like free writing, or kind of like a mind dump on paper, where you set like 20 minutes and you just write, and you don't let the pen stop, or don't let your finger stop typing. And it doesn't matter what you write. You can be writing things like, I don't know what to say right now. And as you're doing that, your brain is going to start to think of things to say. And when you're done, you have, then you cut out all the extraneous stuff, and you've got a good chunk of a paper. And then you can start to think about the organization and how does it fit. So it's similar to what MJ said, just I'm not as much of a visual person as MJ is. And so that's what tends to work for me, is to just get the pen or the typing moving.